And I made sure to make time in my schedule for a facial today, which I could have easily canceled like I did last week. But I really held that time sacred to make sure I did some self-care, because that will help reduce cortisol and those stress effects on our body. Oxytocin and cortisol kind of oppose each other. So when cortisol's up, oxytocin's down. And what people need to understand, and when cortisol's up for a long, long time, the paraventricular nucleus in the brain will shut down that production, and you get to this dangerous state where both cortisol and oxytocin are suppressed. And that feels like disconnect. That feels like burnout. That feels like depression. That feels like anhedonia, lack of sensation of pleasure. And so we need to really empower oxytocin through the little things in our life and in our mindset, gratitude, love, laughter, these things that we can create in our mind. When we empower oxytocin, that's the anecdote, and that's the ultimate anecdote. And everything else we do, our diet and our lifestyle and our supplementation and producing the energetic body that we need, really accentuates that.
I can't tell you how many women come to me and say, I have adrenal fatigue. How do I get out of it? And it's just what you're talking about, where cortisol and oxytocin have flatlined and you're just kind of at a loss.
Yep.
And how do you get that back? And it's, the adrenals take over the hormonal production as we enter menopause. So there's that extra pressure on your adrenals. And then I always tell people, which a lot of people don't, talk about, is that your adrenals sit on your kidneys. So if your adrenals are overworked, then your kidneys are inflamed, and then there's water retention and edema and other things that are backed up in the liver and the kidneys and your adrenals, and they're all intertwined. It's like this domino effect of everything working wrong, and how do we get everything to go backwards and work right? So let's get into your book. And what you're talking about is your 5 plans and what is right for you. And so let's go through each plan, because it's really interesting. As you were talking about these different plans and how to rotate them, I thought, gosh, it's really interesting that me intuitively, and you laid out why, but intuitively, sometimes I feel like just eating plant-based. Sometimes I feel like being a carnivore. And I've tried all different modalities. Sometimes I need to avoid just certain vegetables. So let's go through.
Exactly. Right, Sarah, you're so intuitive that way. And that's it, and that makes sense. And certain seasons, we talk about eating with the seasons and eating based on your heritage, and also not eating the same thing every day. So I've kind of been on this rampage of, if I read one more diet diary that has chicken salad in it, I'm tearing it up. Tearing up the old days when we used to have paper in front of us. But